Hey, what's up, guys? This is a new episode of Well, That Sucks. The only show that I bring up stories that suck. So, and guess what? This podcast right here is gonna suck. Well, I'm just kidding. Hopefully it doesn't. But anyway, so this episode, the very first episode of my podcast, I'm going to talk about different concerts that I've been to, and the different experiences that that I went through. So my very first concert that I went to was back in 2003, and it was through a radio station called WJR. Was it WJR? Yeah, it was called WJRR. And they held this event called Earth Day Birthday. And I went to their event back in 2003. And so they had a whole bunch of bands like Seven Dust, Godsmack. I think Godsmack was headlining. And, oh God, what else? Puddle Mud, Static X. You know, all those, those bands up and coming in that era. So, with that being said, this concert was the very first time I saw my pair of boobies. Yep. Yeah. And they were painted because during this event, they had different things, that you could do. And one of the things that you could do was paint your boobies. So this woman, I'm pretty sure she was trying to relive, Woodstock, like the Woodstock era, and, excuse me, she painted her boobs like sunflowers. But I'm going to tell you right now, those sunflowers looked very sad. And okay, so if you got your boobs painted back then, you can have this option of covering your nips, with like a plastic film or whatever. No, she didn't. So it looked like her sad sunflowers had eyeballs, or actually, they kind of looked like Dippin' Dots, and they were like protruding out. So yeah, that was my experience on my first concert. I was kind of scarred by that. But yeah, so moving on. 2005. 2005 was a good year. And it was it was Family Values Tour with Flyleaf, Stone Sour, and Korn was headlining, which I fucking love Korn. I don't care what anybody says. Korn. Okay, so I like their older stuff. I don't like their newer stuff now, but their older stuff kicked fucking ass, and it was awesome, And so when I saw them back in 2005. They still had the drummer, David Silveria, or Silveria? Anyways, he was a great drummer. And, yeah, so that was a great band. And they were, you can tell when they play that everybody in the crowd starts jumping, and they know that, hey, this is fucking Korn playing, and we need to get the fuck up. So, with that being said, we saw them. So my buddy and his uncle saw them at Hard Rock Cafe in Orlando. In Orlando, Florida, and I was getting into it. Was like, whoo, 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 yeah, here we go. I'm trying to mosh, but I'm not because I'm kind of a pussy, and I don't really get into that. Just because I was more of an introvert. But my favorite song came on. And my favorite song from Korn was Make Me Bad. Make Me Bad was probably one of the best songs they created in their history, So, when that song came on, I got loose. And I was like, all right. I got loose, and I went out there, and I tried to mosh, but nobody else was moshing. So it was just like me jumping around like a retard, And so yeah, I went out there and I got pushed down by a fat guy. Yeah, and I pushed him, but I almost felt like I flew back, and then I came back at him, and he just like pushed me down and landed on my back on that hard hardwood floor, and I was like, okay, well, this is embarrassing. I guess I'll not ever do that again. So, yep. Oh man. So let's see, 2006. 2006 was a good year also for singing bands. So I finally got to see my favorite band, Godsmack. Back in high school, I used to follow them, and I used to listen to them like religiously. And I saw them at the TD Waterhouse in Orlando. I think now it's called the Amway Arena. But yeah, so funny story with that is that they toured with Breaking Benjamin, and Breaking Benjamin or seeing them live, they suck. I don't know what it is with them, but they suck ass live. I like all their recorded music and off their albums, but they really turned me off from when I saw them live. But anyways, yeah. So when I saw both of them in 2006, I was really sick. I remember like feeling so shitty that I was forcing myself to get up and enjoy the concert. And oh god, I remember when Godsmack came on. I remember like feeling so excited but so sick at the same time. I wanted to sit down, you know. And my buddy Ryan, I went with my buddy Ryan and Robbie Ruff. And Robbie was actually one of the guys that got us the tickets to go see that show. It was really cool. But Ryan didn't give a shit about the concert. He was like literally sitting down. He was sitting down texting on his phone. And so Sully Erna, the lead singer of Godsmack, said, "Hey, everybody get the fuck up. Everybody get up. Come on, this is, here we go, here we go." And he says, "We got people, sitting down. We got some people on their phone." And I remember looking at Ryan, and I was like, "Dude, Sully Ernie was talking about you, bro. That's you." Because he saw Ryan on his phone sitting down, and he called him out. I thought that was the fucking funniest thing ever. Yeah, but back in high school, Godsmack was one of my favorite bands. Not so much now, but I still like them. I still like how they made their music and how they came about. So, anyways, moving on. Here comes 2006 Ozfest. Oh my god. 2006 Ozfest down in Palm Beach, Florida. Let me tell you about this one. I never met so many neo-Nazis in my entire life. Going down there and going to the field, I can't remember what it was called, but seeing all these... I've seen a bunch of guys down there with the swastika tattooed on their chest. And I'm like... So I look at them. They have like mohawks, or they have clean shaven hair because they're if you ain't white, you ain't right. It's stupid like that. And I remember looking at this one dude. He had maybe like 3 teeth. Was it three teeth or 3 tooth? No, yeah, he had like 3 teeth. And he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you got those Camel cigarettes?" Because Camel at the time was advertising their cigarettes, and we can, if you wanted to, you can go through one of their tents in get a free pack of cigarettes. And I said, no, bro. He's like, all right, cool, looking out. And yeah, that was a terrible story. But yeah, I'm telling you right now, there was a lot of neo Nazis down there, of all places in Palm Beach, Florida. You know. So yeah, so when we got to Ozfest back in 2006, we had these things called working passes, and there were stickers that you had to wear on your left side of your chest, which I don't know why, but we did. We had to do it anyways. So we did, and we asked 1,000 people, like throughout the concert, like, hey, what do these mean? Like, do we go backstage, and do we like set up or watch how they set up equipment and stuff like that? And nobody fucking knew. Nobody knew it at all. So we just said fuck it, and we went to where our seats were. And our seats were badass. I think we were like 3 rows down from the main stage, at Ozfest, and System of a Down was headlining at the time. I loved them; they were good. But I'll never forget when Disturbed came on before them. The lead singer of Disturbed, I don't know, I can't remember his name, but he's like, this isn't a this isn't a rock concert. This is the Church of Metal. And at that point, I was like, I think I'm in the wrong place. This is kind of weird, you know? Oh, man. So, yeah, let's see. Notes. 2006. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I have a lot more concerts to talk about just because I've been to a lot. So that might be a part 2, depending on how like you guys like this episode. Please subscribe and to my page, Living Proof. So I'm adding on to my show, Living Proof, with just like a podcast called, well, that sucked. So if you can subscribe to that page, that'd be fucking awesome. And I got more content to come up, and yeah, I got more content to come up, and yeah, that's it. All right, guys, have a good one.